When did you first get introduced to chess?
My dad used to play my brother, and just used to watch them, and then I tried, and just I got addicted.
Yeah.
I actually got a chess piece tattooed right there. Got a king.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
That's dope.
so
That's dope.
it just like one thing I like about chess. I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Well, actually, I feel like chess is a really great just metaphor for the world in some extent, because like it represents racism, because like white always goes first.
Oh wow.
It represents like patriarchy, because like the queen can go wherever she wants to go, but the game's not over till the king dies. So there's like, I feel like it talks a lot about like inherent biases in the world. That's just like
No, I didn't even say it that way. And for me, one thing I noticed is the pawn and the king they can both do only one move at a time.
Yeah.
But you have a choice in life whether to live as a pawn or as a king.
Yeah.
Regardless, you make the same move. So
Yo, I've like literally dropped a bar like that in one of my rounds.
yeah, exactly. So it's in but at the end of the day, what you were saying, white, black, queen, king, pawn, king, every single piece goes back in the same box. So regardless of how we live our life, we're all gonna be gone one day, but it's your choices at the end of the day. Right?
Okay.
You go first.
Let's get this started, yeah.
Make a body now. Okay. Start off same as last time.
I feel like the pawns they're underrated, like from a defensive perspective.
Oh yeah. They pretty much can make or break the game.
Yeah.
But the one thing my dad taught me in chess is one thing I always did was when I would make one major mistake, like it would dictate the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like I just felt defeated, and I played like I was defeated.
Yeah.
Like you lose your queen, and then next thing you know, you're just not playing the same. So
yeah.
I try to take that into my everyday life, and understand that you're gonna make mistakes. It's supposed to happen, but how do you pick up after that?
And another thing too, I feel like it's very easy with chess to kind of get tunnel vision on a certain strategy, where you're only focusing on like one corner of the board, and then you totally disregard everything that's going on there, and then you end up. That's how you get got.
Yeah, 100%. And you have to compensate for your mistakes, account for them, and just kind of think 3 or 4 steps ahead. Kind of like life. Like you don't live for just today or tomorrow. You gotta think ahead, and Okay.
Well, as they say, the game of chess, it's like a sword fight.
I was waiting for it. Okay, why do I feel like I'm gonna get caught now? Okay, I gotta slow down. Gotta slow down. All right, set myself up.
I feel like it was like the Wu-Tang influence on chess too, like really made me want to learn how to play.
Because of how often it was referred to?
Yeah.
For me, I knew how to play chess before I listened to Wu-Tang. So, obviously growing up with 2 older brothers, watching martial arts movies and seeing them play chess with my dad, and then getting introduced to Wu-Tang it kind of fit, the pieces fit together. It all made sense to me, like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying. And you kind of get excited because you see them talking about 36 chambers and stuff, but it's like I've seen that before, and then it all refers back to each other. It's pretty epic. All right, okay, let's do some damage now. Okay, let's chip away at the pieces.
Did you ever like properly study chess, or was it just more so you just played for the love of it?
I tried to. I really tried to, but I felt like everything else, I didn't want to lose like my passion for it. I didn't want to like fall out of love with it. And sometimes when you go too deep into something, like it becomes a job, it becomes a chore. I didn't want that. So I was like, just play and learn as I go along. I mean, I can easily pick up a book or play online and get better, but I just wanted to I just wanted the love to always be there and kind
Yeah.
of be organic, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay. I was doing damage, yo.
Yeah, I feel I'm off to a good start. We had like a practice game going before, and you were beating me on that one, but I'm coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I let go of the piece, so it's your turn. If I make a mistake, I'll account for it, pick up the pieces afterwards. In terms of, like, we were talking about Wu-Tang, and what other music has influenced, the way you live your life?
I've been really into, well, I feel like soul music and jazz music.
Nice.
And that a lot of that comes from like being a hip hop fan. It's like you hear the songs, you hear the beats, and it's like, where is this sample from? And then so you dig back to find it,
Yeah.
and it's just a whole like treasure trove of music that we weren't exposed to. Like we grew up listening to rap, but it wasn't until I was probably like in my 20s that I started to go back to actually listen to the original samples that the songs were from. And when I started making my own beats as well, like it just gave me a new appreciation for, vocals, like what the singers were doing, how they would structure their songs. Because you don't hear that style now.
No, you don't.
You don't.
It's
like
completely changed.
it's its own era, it's its own feeling, and there's something special about like 60s and 70s soul music.
Again, I feel like going back to what we were referring to, and the passion being there and the love being there for the sport without going too deep into it, I also feel it was the same for them. They did it because they loved it, and they did it because it's almost like, it was their outlet. It was, maybe they were oppressed and they were said that they were told that they couldn't do it, and that's why they did it, right? So the love, I genuinely feel the love when I listen to the older music. Like the passion is really there. It's almost like it wasn't a job for them, right?
Yeah. Like just listening to, like I've been listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder lately, and just the way he talks about the world, like without even like visually seeing it, but still understanding what was going on in the world as far as like socially, politically, and conveying that in his music. It's been fascinating to go back to some of his old albums. And like Marvin Gaye has been, I'm like a huge Marvin Gaye fan as well. Like I've sampled so much of his stuff. But again, like some of those albums, there's so much depth to it, like lyrically, and how they capture what was going on at the time. I made a mistake there, but you didn't capitalize on it. I learned from my last time. I didn't let you know that I did it.
So last time, you showed me that you messed up, and I was aware to it. Now you didn't say anything, you didn't do anything. Obviously, I still don't know. I still can't see what your mistake was. But
you could have the clean kill to the bishop.
See, I didn't see it, so
I'm just gonna get out of harm's way now. No, shit.
Don't let go of it.
Yeah. Actually, I'll go there.
It's getting interesting now. Getting serious now, eh? One thing I love about chess is like I'm a huge fan of movies and video games, And I put this in that kind of tier for me, where where nothing else matters. You're just so like focused, and you can take that focus into your everyday life. I definitely take that focus into my workouts, and that movement is definitely what kind of helps me be a better person, man. So definitely taking a lot of things from chess into my everyday life.
Yeah, and I feel like it forces you to consider every scenario from multiple angles.
Yeah.
Whereas like sometimes we can, like when we're faced with a problem, we tend to just try to approach it one way. It's like, well, that's how I did it last time, so I'm gonna do the same thing this time. But you can't do that in chess.
No, you have to. In like checkers, right? You're constantly going forward.
Yeah.
So chess kind of forces you to take a step back, like take one step back to take 4 steps forward.
Yeah.
And also taking a loss to take a win.
Yeah.
Like for example, like if I take this, I clearly know it's open, but I want this.
Yeah, yeah.
So willing to sacrifice for the greater good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm not in a good position right now. Bring this back. I feel like you could have checkmate me there.
That was a good step back that you did, because your guy was about to get clapped. Check.
Okay, so it's actually hard to talk while playing.
Yeah, because you don't wanna slip.
Have you ever played timed?
No.
Timer?
No.
I haven't played it timed. It's a whole nother ballgame.
The only time I've been in person for a time chess game was like years ago. It was at Jagmeet's house actually. Jagmeet Singh. He was playing with our homie Gil P, and they had a timer.
Yeah.
And they were going. It was like 5-second timers. I was like, man, I cannot.
Yeah,
I can't
you
do it.
can. But the thing is, actually, that's a lie. I have played with a timer once before. I played with my brother. It wasn't with the legitimate timer. I think we had a stopwatch on our phones. And what it was is you genuinely make so many mistakes but it forces you to just think faster and become more of a critical kind of thinker when it comes to playing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one of these guys is gonna go.
Yeah, one of these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna okay. So what kind of things have you taken from chess and applied into music?
I think, like with my writing, I tend to be very slow.
Okay.
And part of it is because, like, I want to make sure whatever topic that I'm writing about, I'm doing it justice. Because it's one thing to like talk about a topic on a very surface level, but to actually go in depth into it and convey it in a way that other people can connect to it at the same time.
Okay.
But it's also honest to my own experience. Like I feel like that's the challenge. And I feel like with chess it's the same thing. Like every move, just like every line or every word in a verse, you have to consider, okay, is this the best move right now? Like if I make this move now, am I setting myself up for failure, like a couple moves down the line, or am I actually putting together a strategy? It's the same thing with like putting together a rhyme, where it's like, okay, I could include this line here, but then 2-3 lines down, am I still going to be able to maintain the momentum of this verse as it goes? Okay. So that's one thing, just like consideration. Yeah. For like all aspects of like the composition of it and like all movements to it. And then I guess similar to what we were saying earlier is then just having consideration for all angles as well. It's like, am I covering everything that I need to cover here?
Yeah. Yeah. And I take that into with my workouts with my clients.
So I'm just gonna take your guy here while you're talking.
So I it's the same thing. I'm critically thinking, like, is this, as a trainer, as a coach, it's up to me to prescribe what's best for my client or my potential client. It's not about me putting them through what I want to do. And that type of critical thinking I've definitely taken from chess.
Yeah.
And even in my everyday, it's like, okay, you're training somebody, this hurts, you have to switch it up. They can't do this today, their energy levels are low, they ate this the day before. It's all like in my head. I have a database of like routes that I need to take, and that kind of critical thinking, it's definitely not just linear, it's not straight. It's very fluid, just like the game of chess is very fluid. And if I can be the best trainer I can be for my clients and get them the results that they want in and out the gym, then that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
So I definitely think critical thinking can help anybody in all walks of life.
And I find like chess has kind of been useful for like being in a group situation as well. Like if I'm on a track or if I'm in a group with a bunch of other artists, it's like, sometimes you just have to hold your square. You know what I mean? Just play your role, do your thing, and contribute to the greater good of the entire, like all your pieces on your team.
Yeah, 100%, man. Because people, they underestimate how important a pawn is, right? And even the move you just did right now, it's got me thinking like, all right, okay, like you put your pawn up against my queen. Not like it's gonna take it, but it's forcing me to do certain things.
One of the craziest things I've seen with regards to like chess and fitness has been, I don't know if you've ever seen chess boxing. Where they fight for a round, they box, and then they sit down and then they'll play chess.
That's incredible. I've seen it on YouTube, and it's fascinating, man. And especially, and actually I've taken something very similar. So I'll do a set on my workout, and I'll make 6 moves on the Rubik's Cube, and I'll just keep going back and forth. And as a result, I got so good at the Rubik's Cube. Then I flipped it, and I was doing, okay, I'll do a set in my workout, I'll read like a paragraph in a book, and I'll just keep switching, as opposed to going on my phone. Like it does keep you mentally switched on, and you do go into the set a little bit more sharp, or you maintain that level of focus. So I can only imagine, especially as somebody who's been in the ring, like how tough chess boxing can be. Imagine you win the chess game, but you lose the boxing fight.
I find this interesting because like when a lot of people talk about fitness and going to the gym and all that, they don't necessarily talk about the mental component that goes with it.
No.
It's just mainly, all right, this is what you got to lift, this is what you got to drink, and it's more so from a physical standpoint. But they leave out everything else that goes with it. Like you have to get your mind right in order to be able to move your body in a certain way.
And it plays both ways. You got to get your mind right to kind of get the physical going, but you got to get the physical going to get your mind right too. And in my sense, that's what it was. It was me. My movement is what helped my mental health. Right, because I figured out that if I can, honestly express myself in that 1 hour, through movement, the other 23 hours are what's going to benefit. Because you got a lot of people that they will destroy their bodies for an hour, 2 hours, but now they're suffering for the other 22. They're sore, they got pains, and that's not what it's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be the opposite. You're supposed to thrive, you're supposed to feel better, you're supposed to do better, you're supposed to think better clearly. So that movement is supposed to help you. It's supposed to benefit you. It shouldn't be detrimental. Damn, I'm trying to think what you're up to now. Somebody's got to go soon. I'm being taken.
Check.
That's what you want me to. Now, how has, like, I've spoken about like how movements help my mental health. How has music helped not only yours, but how has it affected the listener?
So I feel like the first time I started writing about my mental health and my music was there was a song that I did on one of my albums. The song is called Happy.
Okay.
And at that time, sorry, check. At that time, I was going through my depression, but I didn't know it.
Okay,
So
interesting.
yeah, so it was like the song kind of talks about all the things I was experiencing, like mentally, emotionally, physically, but I didn't have the vocabulary to really, ascribe like this is depression, this is anxiety. It was just like, this is what I'm going through, and like I don't feel happy, and I don't know why. And it's like even when things are going well, it's like I couldn't feel that happiness. And like that song was the first time I had kind of taken the time to address it. So it's interesting to go back to listen to that song now, because it's like I feel like I've gained so much knowledge and information, and there's been a lot of growth now that I have the support and I have the knowledge and the vocabulary to actually address my mental health. But at that time, to go back to it, it was a very confusing time. And then to write that song, it was scary to write that song. It's like a lot of those emotions in that song I had never spoken to anybody else about. So to put it in a track and then to put it out there into the world, it was like, yeah, that was like one of my first moments as an artist where I'm like, I'm scared for people to hear this.
Damn.
Yeah, but like the feedback from that track, and even now, like I've been able to perform it more frequently, which has been cool. Like the feedback to that track has been great. Like I never forget it. Like when I first put that song out, I got a message from a listener, and she said that it was that song, like she was feeling suicidal, and it was that song that kind of made her not go through with it. And
Powerful.
yeah,
That's powerful, man. And the beautiful thing is you're expressing yourself honestly through your craft, which is music. And yes, you're gonna have listeners, but you just simply never know who's gonna hear it or whether they even reach out or not. Because that female, she had the courage to let you know, like, hey, you helped me out. But I'm sure there's so many people out there that heard it as well that didn't reach out, but you still kind of influence them to kind of go down the right path or reach out, you know what I mean,
and
to somebody else.
Even along those lines, like I was talking with a friend of mine earlier today. So he used to work at this one school in Toronto. It's a school for kids with mental health challenges and developmental disabilities and things like that. So a couple of years ago, he had me in to do the hip hop and mental health workshop. And he was just telling me, because like that's one of the things about when you go do workshops is you're in there for a couple hours and then you're out, and you don't really see the lasting impact, if anything, that you leave behind. But he was telling me, he was like, at the end of the school year, some of those kids said the highlight of their year was that workshop. And some of them said that was exactly what they were looking for out of school, because the way school was kind of set up for them, it didn't really provide them with an outlet, or it didn't really allow them to connect with the material that they were trying to study. So yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of being shown something in a different light, and once you see that other perspective, it's like you can find another way to connect with it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And I've always said this as well. If you want to change your life, change your perspective. And that's why now, every time I wake up in the morning and it's raining, before I complain about the weather, I flip it and I'm like, okay, I just saved $10 because my car just got washed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always about, seeing and finding the good in every situation. And if there isn't one, creating the good in every situation. All right. So it's that kind of perspective that not only helped me, but now it's giving me the opportunity to help other people. Because now, like I always questioned, even my hard times, even what I've had to endure, I always question, why it happened to me, like everybody else. They always question, why me? I understand now why me, because now I'm using that pain to make other people powerful.
Yeah.
Right. And that, again, that's perspective, right? So now I don't question whatever happens to me. I just know why it's happening. I see the good in every situation. I create the good in every situation, and I use it to help other people.
Yeah. And there's a really dope quote that I came across a few weeks ago. It said that pain should not be forgotten, but it needs to be transformed.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so the struggle that you go through, it's about what you do with it. And that's kind of along the lines of why I started doing the workshops, the mental health workshops. Is like, I've been there, and if you've been there, you know how difficult it can be, how isolating it can be. And then so the workshops was my way to kind of, like I said, I didn't have that knowledge, so the workshops was my way to kind of share that knowledge that I've gained.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because we have different, everybody has a different definition of success. And my definition of success currently right now is inspiring people to inspire people, or to help people help people.
Yeah.
So it's like you're using that workshop to empower and to help other people, and it's all come from music, right? So that's been the avenue that you kind of run down, and mine's movement. You know, I'm literally using movement as a form of medicine for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So pills and tablets and all that kind of stuff, that's not medicine to me. That's sick care. That's what you have after you're sick. All right. Medicine is what you consume, whether it's the music, whether it's movement, whether it's what you're reading, you're listening to. To me, that's medicine. Right?
Well, a lot of it goes hand in hand with each other.
Yes.
Like when I was first, getting support around my mental health, I just figured it would be, okay, I sit down in this chair and I talk to somebody else, and somehow they're gonna, fix my problems. But it doesn't work that way. It's like you have to do a lot. You have to ask yourself difficult questions. You have to put in the work, and that's what it is. It is a lot of work.
You still need to be the driver, right?
Yeah.
You still need to be in that seat.
Yeah, and it's about like having different things in your toolbox to use. So like a medication could be one thing, but what are you doing to supplement that? Like, are you getting active? Right. Are you getting your sleep? Are you eating well? And that's one thing like I didn't really anticipate, was like when I was going to get support, was that a lot of it was like, okay, how much are you exercising? How much are you sleeping? What is your sleep routine? Like, are you on a screen or on a phone right before you go to bed? So like little things that we tend to overlook, but they do have an impact on our thoughts and the way we kind of go through life and the way we experience life. Yeah. So it's just a matter of like being mindful, like you said, being mindful of everything that you're consuming, and asking yourself why. Because like sometimes I'll be just on my phone and I'll just be like mindlessly scrolling, and it's like, why am I doing this? Yeah. Like, it's one thing like if you're gonna go on, you're gonna post, you're gonna share it, and then whatever, you do your thing, you turn it off. But it's like when you're just mindlessly scrolling, and it's like, I'm not gaining anything from this. I'm just kind of wasting time.
Yeah,
so it's like,
because in that moment, you're not you're a creator, you're a consumer, and you're just there to absorb what other people are putting out there. And that's why I think it's super crucial not to do that at night, because you're gonna look and you're gonna see what other people are doing, and then you're gonna go to sleep, and subconsciously in your mind you're comparing yourself to all these people, all overnight, and you wake up with those feelings too. Yeah. So I think it's incredibly important to have a night routine that benefits your mental health, whether it's listening to a certain type of music, whether it's moving, whether it's having a certain type of scent or whatever, what you listen to. I think is incredibly crucial. Yeah. Because that's what you're gonna start. You're ending your day with that, and you're gonna start the next day with that.
Got me kind of trapped here, trying to figure out what to do next.
I got you trapped. No, not at all, man.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I was focusing a lot on this side here.
Yeah.
But you kind of blocked me off there, so I can't even do that. It's like I go after that, I'm dead. Go after that, I'm dead.
But he's not in danger though. You can choose to keep it there.
Yeah.
Unless I force your hand. So you were saying you were focusing on this area?
On this side.
Oh, you were focusing on this side, okay.
So I just had to like open my perception a little bit, I guess, and look at the rest of the board.
I see what you did.
I don't even know what I did.
I see what you did. Foiled my plans. Okie dokie. It's game time. Checkmate.
Got it.
Oh, was it?
No, it's not checkmate. Not checkmate.
Oh no, it's not checkmate.
It's not a
Oh my god. So basically, I'm trying to take a step back. So when this was here, if I was to be there and the pawn was there, it would have been checkmate.
Yeah.
But because you have that now, it's not.
Yeah.
So that's what I was forced, like slowly kind of like creeping.
Yeah.
Because I wanted that to be trapped there.
Yeah.
But it's not checkmate now, so we got a game on our hands.
Set up the block. And I find that's one thing I do. Like that's where I mess up a lot is I don't leave an out for the king.
Yeah, that's why I opened mine up, because it just kind of gives you options to leave, right?
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know what, like you can, when you play somebody at chess, it's how you live and act in life. It kind of comes out on the board too, because I didn't even realize this until now. I'm an options person. I like to have different options.
Yeah.
You know, so if even within this, whether it's my day or whether it's whatever I'm doing specifically, I like to have options, because I always say the more options you have, like the easier it becomes. And it's the same with this. I just realized, like, the way I play chess, I've created options for myself.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. That was my plan. Now I don't know what to. Okay. Safe. Now, speaking of everything that we've kind of just spoken about,
Yeah.
Do you make music now with the whole mental health thing? Like, are you conscious about it now, knowing that, you know, I'm gonna affect my listeners? Like, what kind of, like, whatever your lyrics may be or your subject matter?
I mean, it's conscious in the sense that if I'm going through it, like if I'm having a rough period, it is going to end up in my music, just because I write about my life. I write about what I'm going through, write about my experiences. So it will end up in the music that way. I don't think I'm necessarily trying to do it in such a way where it's like, okay, the listeners are going to perceive it in such a way. It's more so, you know, how can I convey this experience in the most truthful and honest way to myself? And I think as long as I can do that as an artist, I feel like people will connect with it regardless. Because at the end of the day, people want, at least as myself as a listener, I want like an authentic experience when I'm listening to another artist. Like I want to know what their life's like. I want to know what their experiences are. I want to know, you know, how they overcame it. I want to know their strengths. I want to know their flaws. And
is there anybody that comes to mind, the first people like who expresses themselves honestly, especially in the day and age we live in? This, I feel like a lot of people are not. So who would you say is like the top 2 or 3 people that express themselves?
Right now, I feel like 2 names that like immediately jump to mind as far as more modern day artists is Kendrick and J. Cole. Like they talk quite a bit about their personal life and just put it out there in such an honest way. And it's like, even if the circumstances are different, like they're talking about their experiences and what they're going through. I might not be going through the same thing, but you can sometimes still find parallels within it.
Yeah,
based off like a certain emotion that they might be trying to convey, or you know, like a family relationship they're talking about. Just like there's always parallels that you can find, and music was always kind of my way to open up my worldview and just kind of, you know, become more aware of other people's experiences, even though I'm not living in those same conditions as they are.
Yeah, I like that. I like the way you kind of sum that up, because it's almost like it's also a form of education. Because I don't know what it's like to live on the West Coast, you know, in LA, but through my favorite artists, they've kind of painted a picture of what it's like, and you see what their struggles were, and then you hear a lot of people in that region speaking about the same things, and it's like you can see who's authentic, who's not, and you know, it kind of opens your mind, you know, to different regions of different walks of life and how they're living, right?
Does that kind of play into your fitness? So, for example, you have a new client come in, you have to find some way to connect with them. You have to, like, on a personal level. Like, that's like there's a human element to what you do. Yeah. It's not just about like push-ups, sit-ups, lift weights.
See, and that's why I say to everybody, like, it's not about what you can do. It doesn't matter if you can do 1,000 push-ups and 2,000 pull-ups. If you can't be a good person, like, what does it matter? Yeah. You know, if you can't hold the door for the person behind you, what's the point?
Right.
And one thing I link with is that with the same kind of like theme of what we're talking about is there's good in everybody, right? And if you've made the conscious decision to come and get help, that tells me that you want to grow. Yeah. It tells me you want to get better, right? And from there, it's like you can tap into like why, you know, what's going on in your life. And that's what I think separates me from a lot of trainers is that I'm not there to just make you physically better, but more so mentally. Because, for example, you want a six pack, you want stronger legs. I can give you that. But if I can work on this in the process, you will always have that. Right? Because 2-3 years down the road, if you lose it, you are mentally equipped with the mindset to get it again, as opposed to constantly relying on somebody. Yeah. Right. So I think if I can connect with everybody from their mind, I think it's a win-win for me. I can go to sleep at night knowing, you know, I'm fulfilling my purpose. Yeah. You know, and like Kobe said, like, if you love what you do, just do it more. You know, and it doesn't feel like work then. Okay, so is it my turn or yours?
It's your turn.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's out here for a while. Yeah, you took my rook. Where are we at? I can leave him there, but not in danger. Let's play a little bit here. Oh, these guys are dangerous, man. Gotta lose some pieces now.
Check.
Damn. So if I got it there, you got me. If I put it there, I'm safe. If I put it there, I'm dead. If I put it there, I'm dead.
It's only one move then.
Gonna have to.
I think that's checkmate.
Yeah, that is checkmate because I can't take you. Dead. Okay, so yeah, that's checkmate, I think, because I can't do anything with this. I can't bring it back. So checkmate.
Oh, good game, man.
That was solid.
That was good.
That took a couple of turns.
Yeah.
You had a good start. You had a really good start. You took a few of my pieces. I made a little bit of a comeback over here. Yeah. I feel as though when this was here, and I put this here, that would have checkmated you. But putting it there, you blocked me off. So my plan here was to try to get you open up a little bit. Maybe bring that there, then have this guy block you there. So I was limited in my pieces though. So
yeah, that's one of the cool things about chess is like when I had him here and then you moved the queen here, I thought it was done for. But then sometimes, like, if you just like let the excitement of it die down a little bit and just take a second to reanalyze everything, you can find another way. Yeah. Another strategy.
And that goes back to what we were saying originally. Yeah. Like being in that position, it didn't defeat you. You weren't defeated. Right? Like you still had so many pieces left. A lot of people, when they're in that position and they get put in check for the first time, it messes with them. Yeah. And it's like you smell blood and you can just go in for the kill, right? Yeah. But you didn't. You held your own And you were on the defensive a little bit, I noticed, but you started coming back out. And when you brought this bad boy here, like was like, okay, now I'm locked in here. You took this one, and I was like, okay, this is tough. I gotta start bringing my pieces back.
Yeah.
But I tried to go on the attack to kind of get you to force you to go back, but it didn't work.
Yeah. With the queen, I try to stick to a lot of like the peripheral pieces more so.
Yeah.
And the queen, I try to not bring her out until absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Because she has that power to, like I said, just from
finish,
here to move across, and then that pretty much ended the game from there. So.
With me, I'm the opposite. I try to bring her out as soon as possible because it kind of puts the fear in the other person.
Yeah.
It's like if you can play and you can kind of start chipping away at the pieces, they start to feel defeated.
Yeah.
But that was good.